So now it's into the wilderness for Labor. It seems the Greens will get their first ever lower house seat in the New South Wales Parliament after the final count of primary votes in Balmain resulted in the party's candidate Jamie Parker beating Labor's Verity Firth for the coveted second place position. The Liberals' James Falk finished first in the primary vote, but it's expected after the distribution of preferences, Mr Parker will win the seat. There are expectations that the Greens would win 2 inner west seats in this election, Balmain and neighbouring Marrickville. Although the campaigning in Marrickville was unsuccessful, with Labor's former Deputy Premier Carmel Tebbutt claiming victory there, the Greens are calling their performance on Saturday a significant result.
Former Deputy Premier Carmel Tebbutt never thought she'd be returning to her Marrickville electorate office this week.
How are you? That big swing that was being predicted against Labor across the state, I just couldn't see how I would hold on in a seat like Marrickville in the face of such a swing. So I was pretty pessimistic going into the campaign.
But a grassroots campaign based largely around Tebbutt's personal standing and a huge effort engaging voters directly delivered a rare moment of celebration for Labor last Saturday night.
At the moment, we've got 40% of the primary vote. And the Greens have got 35%.
Labor's hopes that the same outcome would be delivered in neighbouring Balmain effectively ended today. At the old Leichhardt Post Office in the heart of the Balmain electorate, the counting continued. The Greens candidate, Jamie Parker, has finished second in the primary vote behind the Liberals' James Falk and a couple of hundred votes in front of Labor's Verity Firth. The prized second position will almost certainly deliver Mr Parker enough preferences to win the seat and the opportunity to make history for the Greens in New South Wales.
It will be an historic achievement if we're able to get there. But at the same time, it comes on the back of an increased vote in the upper house, an increased vote in the lower house. We've seen very good performance from the Greens throughout New South Wales, not just the city, but also country Greens, and we've come second in 12 seats. So we really have marked a very important progression in the Greens here in New South Wales.
The Greens are also hoping to win the last undecided seat in the upper house of the New South Wales Parliament. Although the result may not be known for several days, the party is in with a fighting chance against Pauline Hanson.
It's not only important that the Greens defeat Pauline Hanson, it's also important that our numbers increase in the upper house, at least as a counterfoil to the shooters and the Christian Democrats. We have a real problem in New South Wales where we've got a Conservative government who can do deals with the Christian Democrats and the shooters. That could drive the state very much to the right. We want to be there to offer the coalition an alternative, a more progressive alternative, to come to us and talk to us about legislation before they cut a deal with the extreme right-wing parties.
But having so-called extreme views is not just confined to the right wing. In Marrickville, the Greens candidate was local mayor Fiona Byrne. Her campaign ran into trouble when a council resolution adopted in January to ban goods and services with Israeli companies became a controversial issue.
Well, it was certainly an issue, in part because there was a lot of concern from members of the community here in Marrickville about council getting involved in that sort of activity. There was a lot of concern about the council decision to impose a boycott on goods and cultural exchanges with Israel. But I think more broadly, people also saw it as symptomatic of an approach to issues that was not serious, that was more grounded in wanting headlines rather than being a serious campaigner or politician.
Door-knocking in Marrickville, the boycott, divestment and sanctions issue was never raised. So it clearly wasn't a major issue there. It would have been easier for the Greens not to raise the issue of human rights of the Palestinian people. If we were just following focus groups, we would have moved away from that and just done the easy things like the other parties. But we are committed to human rights. We are desperately concerned about what's happening in the Middle East, the systematic denial of human rights to an entire peoples. We feel it's important those issues are raised, and we're proud of having raised those issues.
John Kay says although the Greens didn't win in Marrickville, they are now well placed to take the seat in 4 years' time. This week, Carmel Tebbit joined her small group of Labor colleagues to elect a new leader and begin the task of rebuilding a shattered party. Will you be putting your hand up as deputy leader of the party?
Well, I'm still considering my position, but I want to play a key role in the revitalisation of the party and in the parliamentary party. So I certainly see that I'll be playing a key role, but what that role is, I'm still considering.